Okay, we're back. This is Clayton Squires at Santa Lucia's High School. I'm a U.S. history teacher, and today what we're going to be going over is this benchmark right here, SS 912A 3.10. Review the different economic and philosophic ideas. Pretty straightforward. You just have to kind of memorize them, but I'm going to go over them. Yet at any time in this video, you can just replay it or pause it. All right, so for first, let's take a look over here. All right, so, So review the different economic and philosophic ideas. This is what we're going to be looking at. All right, so economic ideologies or ideas. An ideology is essentially an idea. There's no difference. And so whenever we mention ideologies, just think about different ideas. Everybody has different ideas on how things should work. And that's the same premise that we're going on with the economics of different countries. All right, so let's take a look at capitalism. Capitalism, if you remember capitalism, that's essentially what we use here in the United States. It's the American model, all right? Businesses and corporations own the means of production. So when you go out and you buy, let's say, a Coca-Cola, the government doesn't make the Coca-Cola. The company Coca-Cola makes the soda. And depending on how much that company sells, that equals profit. Here's another example. Walmart is a private company and the government does not own it. When you go into a Walmart, it's not like you're going into a government store. Now, let's take a look at socialism on the other hand. Socialism is kind of similar to capitalism, but it favors the government ownership of the means to improve conditions for workers. What do we mean by that? So an example is the government should provide free college tuition for all students. Sound fair? A lot of times people talk about this and they get all excited, but remember, the money has to come from somewhere. So socialists typically want to see the lower class citizens be treated fairly like the upper class citizens. They don't want to see a very rich class and a very poor class. They don't want to see that. They want it so that it's equal, and they want the government to make everything equal. All right, so this ideology, if you remember from the election year, this is Bernie Sanders. He follows a socialist policy to an extent. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. All right, now we have communism. Communism is when the working class overthrows the elite and upper classes to establish a classless society. What do we mean by classless society? Well, there's no rich and there's no poor. Everybody's treated equally. A lot of people like that idea. All right, this is similar to what they did in Cuba and in North Korea. Did that work out so well? No, and there's people that argue back and forth whether that's the correct way of running the economy or if it's the wrong way. It's just an ideology. It's just an idea. It's an opinion. So, an example, imagine a trash man, your local garbage guy going around. Imagine if he made the same amount of money as you and you were a doctor. That's communism. Is that fair? Some people would say no. All right, and then lastly, we have social Darwinism, also known as survival of the fittest. And it's used to explain a lot of things. It was used back in the day to even justify racism. That one race is smarter than another, and the reason is because of social Darwinism. They tried to tie scientific fact around it. The animals that were superior attract the best mates. They make the most money. They have the most food. And they have the highest chances of survival. And then we have one more slide. One more slide. All right, and the last one is anarchism. An anarchist, sometimes you see these videos of people throwing glass bottles. That's not truly what an anarchist is. That's to an extent what an anarchist is, but not fully. An anarchist truly is just somebody who opposes the organized government in favor of smaller governing communities. So think about somebody who wants a more localized tribal system. And that's what we're really looking at. All right, I hope to see you again in the next video.